Liverpool's hopes of qualifying for the Champions League were given a major boost on Thursday as they went to Old Trafford and beat Manchester United by 4-2, meaning they are 4 points adrift of Chelsea, but Liverpool do have a game in hand. You have a feeling it's going to go right down to the wire as we welcome in Stevie, Nicol and very headmasterish almost, principal vibe that Ian Darke has today. Stephen, I spoke to you during this game. There was a lot of bad language, but in the end it all worked out.
Yes. Listen, for 30 minutes I was thinking, when are Liverpool going to wake up here? Because Manchester United were in complete and utter control. And then just a little bit of luck, you know, Phillips winning a second ball and Jogo with a nice little flick through his legs, and the game completely turned on its head. For the next half hour, Liverpool were in complete control, and I'm watching the game and I'm thinking to myself, is this unusual, or do Manchester United miss Harry Maguire this much? Because going forward, Liverpool looked really dangerous every time they got at that back four, and they scored 4. They probably could have scored 6. And it's not something Liverpool have done very often this season, score 4 goals in a game. So listen, everyone's pointing towards winning the remaining games. They've just got to hope that somebody else makes a mess of it as well.
Stevie, was it just a case that Liverpool wanted this more? Of course, for United, they didn't have that much to play for.
I don't think so. I don't think when you play in a Manchester United-Liverpool game that somebody really wants it more than the others. I mean, you look at the first half hour I was talking about, and United were in total control, and then they got sloppy. You know, the first 3 goals they lost, really, in my opinion, was down to them. The first is a second ball that they're all sleeping on. Phillips gets it and Jota puts it in. The second one's horrible defending. Pogba goes to sleep, and it's a good header. And then the third one, the sloppy passing the ball out from the back. So, you know, Manchester United really, in some ways, were the architects of their own downfall. But they did get caught up as well, apart from that Liverpool never took chances. So, listen, for Liverpool, it's a fantastic day. But for Man United, I think Ollie's going to be scratching his head and hoping that the things he saw today are a one-off. Because if they continue to do what they did today between now and the end of the season, it's going to be a horrible finish for them.
Was it a one-off, Ian?
You better hope so, because they've got the Europa League final coming up, and Stevie touched on it there. They looked a mess without Harry Maguire at the back. He has his critics, of course, but maybe you saw how good he is, because they fell apart, really, without him there. OK, big picture, Manchester United are going to finish above Liverpool this season. That's set in stone. They are going to finish in the top 4. But Liverpool, they look like them old selves going forward tonight. If they win their remaining games, they will be in the top 4. And a few weeks ago, we were thinking they might end up in the European Conference League by finish 7th. So it's something of a revival. It was a good night for them. But I would be worried if I was Manchester United, because if they go into that Europa final without Harry Maguire, and we saw him tonight on crutches, we saw Bailly, who wasn't very good anyway, go off. Are they going to have to play with McTominay at the back against Villarreal in that final? It starts to look a bit that way for them. They won't want to stumble across the line after the season that they've had.
As Ian rightly says, United are fine. They will qualify for the Champions League. Who will join them? According to the bookies, it's tight, isn't it, between Leicester, Chelsea and Liverpool. As it stands, though, Chelsea and Leicester remain the favourites to advance to the Champions League next season. That Chelsea-Leicester game next Tuesday, Ian, is going to be fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, that starts to look like a decider, because they meet in the FA Cup final on Saturday, then they meet next Tuesday. They both can't win it, which is going to open the door for Liverpool, whose running looks quite good.
Yeah.
They've got Burnley away and West Bromwich Albion away, and then Crystal Palace at home on the final day. You'd back them in their present form to get 9 points out of 9. That's going to guarantee them the place. So Chelsea at home to Leicester next Tuesday will fancy their chances, but Leicester could miss out again right at the last moment, as they did last year.
Stevie, you've been Mr. Negative Pants when it comes to Liverpool and their qualification for the Champions League over the last few weeks.
Yep.
Are you starting to change your mind?
I'm starting to think it's possible. Listen, I don't think we should forget. You know, today was a perfect example of what Liverpool's wins, shall we say, have been this season. You know, on paper, 4-2, away from home, looks good, had a couple of other chances. But the truth is, they could have lost 4 as well. Or maybe even 5. You know, just you know, an own goal. They could have lost a goal after a couple of minutes with the goalkeeper with an incredible mistake that Cavani couldn't pounce on. A couple of chances missed. Rashford missed one at the end. They did score 2. I mean, yes, I think they could do it, but I can't honestly say I'm kind of 50-50 whether they'll win the remaining games, just because of what goes on defensively. And if they go back to what they've been doing, missing chances, then it's not going to be easy. I think this is 50-50 for Liverpool, to be honest.
Stevie taking us all around the houses, Shaka, to completely sit on the fence at the end of it.
Listen, and I understand fully. It's a tough call.
Well, I didn't say yes, they will, did I?
Well, no, you said 50-50 after a very long-winded chances, defence, explanation.
And listen, I understand why he's saying that, because the Liverpool we've seen so far, I'm not sure that...
Who's finishing top 4, Shaq?
I'm going to go Liverpool. I think Liverpool, as much doubt as they put in my head, still go on and win all 3 games. And keeping in mind that the goal difference between them and Leicester is just 1. Leicester just 1 better. I think that plays into their hands. If I had to put a bet on it right now, I go Liverpool, Chelsea finish top 4, Leicester finish 5th.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.